So in this video, we're going to talk about a Solana project I personally really liked, and I think this project is going to go places. It's called the Cubist Collective. So what is the Cubist Collective? It's a community-driven portfolio management protocol that's built on the Solana blockchain. So essentially, there's two parts to this project, right? The first part of this project is a portfolio tracker. So you'll have your, essentially all of your NFTs. You can track their value, and it'll tell you about upcoming events for your portfolio. So if there's airdrops happening, if there's snapshots, token drops, delisting rewards, etc. And there's also going to be rarity, there's going to be floor price. There's even going to be, they want to eventually build something that allows you to get the value of a non-floor NFT. So that's the first part. Now the second part is they want to build a community that gets you really great alpha, right? So they essentially want to have a crowdsourced alpha community, but they want to use a token to reward community members who are able to do this. So before we get deeper into the projects, let's talk about the team behind this, right? So that's always the most important thing with a project like this. Now, Michael is the founder, right? He has a PhD in game theory. He has spent 15 years with AI, machine learning. He built a startup in the AI space as well. So if you look at his LinkedIn, he's essentially, he built this company called Rightprice.ai, right? So he built this, and this was for e-commerce, and it would analyze kind of pricing decisions for e-commerce stores. And they sold to PriceEdge, which is a pretty huge company. So he was their head of data science. And then he eventually basically, right now he's on an advisory role as a data science advisor. And from there, he's been working, I think he does essentially some freelancing or consulting for SkyMind. But this guy, he knows his stuff, right? Like, he's been in the data science industry for a long time. He is even got some software engineering experience, and you can see he just knows his stuff, right? And also he has a PhD in game theory, right? So that comes into handy when you're building a community, because what are communities? If you're trying to get a community to do something, you have to use game theory, you have to use incentives, and so on. Now, their other team member that's also here is this guy, Ander. So he's a software developer. So he's a senior developer with 12 years of experience building, basically in software. He can do backend, he can do front end, AI. He's obviously knows blockchain coding as well. So this guy, he's been an extremely experienced coder, and he's essentially transitioned over to the blockchain space. So he's obviously knows how to code in Rust, right? Now, he was one of the software architects at BetBright, which was an online sports betting company, sold for 15 million euros. Or is that pounds? I don't know. But yeah, he's basically led software teams. He's obviously their smart tech guy. Now, Rutras, he is anonymous. He is an options trader, and he's basically running operations. So he's obviously the only member of the team that's not documented or doxed. Now, how are they going to create this game plan? So on their Medium, they have a white paper, right? And essentially the big problem that a lot of these NFT communities and NFT collectors have is there's so much information coming in from Discord and Twitter. How do you keep track of it? How do you turn it into coherent insights? And what most people do is scroll through endless Twitter feeds and Discord channels for the next piece of valuable alpha, and end up sacrificing time and end up sacrificing their sanity, because spending all day on Twitter isn't really good for you, So they're trying to use game theory to align incentives and leverage the power of their community to work together in monitoring projects, right? So essentially the way they're going to do this is, if you share really great insights and people are, backing your kind of insights, you get basically their token, which is Cubist. Also, there's a prediction market, so you can guess whether popular NFT collections will pump or dump. Accurate predictions win Cubist tokens. And you'll have a curated kind of overview, so you'll get the most relevant updates in one single channel. So essentially what he's doing is using game theory to kind of make sure that the best alpha rises to the top with their customized emoji, which is kind of like a C. And they also want to use machine learning to identify which are the top posts, right? Now, the other side of it's the portfolio overview app, and this is also really interesting because this is more of a software play. And again, these guys have experience with software. So what their portfolio overview app is, you'll get crowdsourced market sentiment and community predictions. So they're gonna pull that information from the basically community into that app, upcoming events like I mentioned, so airdrops that are coming up, etc., and simple and clean portfolio overview, obviously the standard metrics, and also transaction monitoring. So let's say your item sells that you have listed, it will notify you. You have listing management, so you can easily manage all your listings on different marketplaces in one place. And you also have an AI appraisal service. So if you have an individual rare NFT, this AI appraisal service will give you an estimated kind of appraisal based on the traits of that. And also simplified selling, where they will suggest, hey, this is the marketplace and this is the price you should sell your NFT at to get a good deal. So that's incredible. And they obviously want to build more tools as time goes on. So another thing they're doing is they have this rewards program. So they're gonna get 20% of the proceeds from the mint, continuously get 25% of the royalties from secondary markets, and a weekly allocation of the Cubist token. So that's what they're going to use to maintain regular payouts to community contributors. Now they have this rewards pool. So if you contribute alpha to this rewards pool, you get their token. So essentially the founders are ensuring that the pool will at least have 5,000 USDC per week for the first 6 months after the sold out mint, right? So after that, the USDC payments will depend on royalty income, and they're subject to community voting on how to use that income. So the Cubist payments will continue at least for the first 4 years, but the weekly allocation could be changed to a community vote. So essentially, you will get paid to post alpha in this group, right? And if you, let's say, end up posting something that gets a huge amount of momentum, maybe you'll get, 20% of that pool. That's a lot of money. That's $1,000 to essentially share alpha, which we're gonna do anyways. They also want to build a prediction market, right? As I mentioned before, they'll also, like, if you're a top contributor, you'll receive special roles. So they're gamifying, the whole kind of being a top contributor thing. And essentially they have this whole flywheel, right? Members collect insights, they share insights, there's more value for members. The value of the token and the value of the NFTs increase, community rewards grow, and there's more incentive to contribute, right? So that's the kind of flywheel that they're building here. And in terms of the actual art itself, so guys, this project did mint out. They had a successful mint. I should have mentioned that earlier, but this project did mint out. Currently, the floor price is, I believe, the floor price is actually 1.95. So this is a great time to buy it. Like, I would totally buy it because they minted at 2 Sol. So 100%, this is a great deal right now because these guys are legit and they know what they're doing, right? So with the art itself, it's kind of like fine art, Picasso inspired, which is pretty cool. And obviously the whitelist is over, so not really going into that. So let's quickly talk about their tokens. So Cubist is the protocol's native token. It'll be used to reward both contributors and holders of the first generation NFTs, right? So they're essentially going to be using it firstly to commission new pieces of art in the collection, and then also they'll create a subscription service for those not holding Cubist NFTs to gain limited access to the tool that they're building for their portfolio tracking. And again, that you can only buy that through Cubist, right? Now, they do have a tokenomics paper, so I advise going through that as well. So the ways you can earn it is contributing to the Discord, joining the prediction market, obviously taking part in competitions. And then the use is they were using it to be able to mint the NFTs, but one of the main uses is to, you can customize your NFTs with Cubist tokens. You can use it as bounty. So if you want an in-depth report on a certain project, you can offer a bounty of Cubist to somebody to research that project in depth. And then there's also essentially using it in prediction markets as well. And then from there, they also want to look at doing future NFT collections that will be mintable with Cubist, right? Other potential plans is DAO to DAO. So maybe other projects will want insights sourced from this organization, the Cubist Collective. That could be something where it could be a subscription service that other DAOs could pay for with Cubist. And then obviously, as I mentioned before, they want to build a subscription service for those not holding the NFTs, and that would be again payable in Cubist. So they do have a bunch of uses for it. There's also the fact that you would get the Cubist token through staking. But yeah, this is a very, very interesting kind of use case, right? So it's essentially they're incentivizing sharing of information, they're building this tool, and so they're building a really solid ecosystem here. So overall, I'm pretty bullish on this. 2 Solana is a really great entry point. So I would encourage you to maybe buy like a couple. So I've already minted one, and I'm probably going to pick up a few more on secondary. I do feel great about this project because the team is fully doxed, they're building, their Discord is great, so go check out their Discord. So this is one to keep an eye on, and I think under 2 Sol, under the mint price, this is a great value because this team is fully documented. So another similar project that's doing something similar, but maybe not on the same level, is Solana Money Boys. They have a great project as well. However, with these guys, the difference is these guys are fully doxed. For me, being fully doxed is the most important thing you can do with a project. And with these guys' experience, I do think that, you know, realistically, this project could go to a 3 to 5x over the next couple of months. And honestly, for 2 Sol, just having access to the alpha, it's a no-brainer. Paying 2 Sol to be able to get access to much more curated alpha is incredible value as compared to, you know, buying into some of these other communities. So yeah, guys, overall pretty hyped for this project. I'm just going to be filling my bag up. So guys, if you want to, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what projects I should cover. I want to cover projects that are doing something unique with fully doxed teams, right? Like I want to cover projects that have a team that actually are experienced, that are doing something real. I don't want to deal with projects that, you know, there's anonymous founders and they're doing the 10th, you know, stake your NFTs or whatever Ponzi-nomic bullshit that people are doing these days. I want to actually cover great projects. So if you suggest that, I will totally look into this, whatever project you suggest. So I'll see you on the next video.